Todd Bowe and John Lieberger here for another edition of Turf Talk. Todd, we're out here on Apache today. We'd love to give the members an update on all the golf courses, but most importantly, I think they're excited to get back to Apache and Chiricahua after it's been closed most of the summer. I know we took one more extra week to keep them closed. You got a lot better in 1 week, but I know you're not 100% satisfied. Is that correct?
That's correct. Well, hello everybody again. Nice to be with you. Yes, John, you are correct. We had a big gain in the week that we stayed closed, but we still have some spots out there, some thinner spots and some things that we'll be working on. Just kind of like last year, but at a much smaller scale than last year. But we do still have spots in some low areas and maybe a few up around a green or so that we will be continuing to work on. Seeding, you may see some of the tarps that we have out there covering. We may even be doing a little more sodding as we open, but we feel with the condition that Apache, and we'll talk about Chiricahua here in a minute, but both golf courses right now are good to go for our members. You know, a lot of people up and down Pima don't have this option that we have with the flexibility and the variety. We feel like our golf courses are good enough to open for play, which gives our members, you know, golf in October, which a lot of other people down the valley don't get. And so we feel like it's a trade-off. It's not 100%. Our golf courses are probably 80% right now, 90%, but they'll pick up that 10% pretty quick as this weather continues to change. I mean, this morning's a beautiful morning. The humidity finally left. The humidity and the heat's what's been giving us, has been giving us some challenges this year, along with the dreaded flea beetle, which I've talked about before. Sure. But those are the things that we've been battling this year on a much smaller scale than last year.
Okay. Well, the majority of the playing conditions look really good. I see you got some birds out there eating your seed as well, so that doesn't help. I think the members will be satisfied and understand we're not perfect, but it's going to get better every single day. And
our team is going to continue to work on it just like last year. I know that we referenced last year a lot because it was such a dramatic year with the amount of stuff we had. So we have a lot less further to go this year. We don't have near quite the problem area. So I'm confident that as we get into the season and as we mature, the golf courses will get better and better.
I wanted to point out one thing. Because you've got a lot of seed in the ground, you've had to keep the golf course a little softer because you got to water it in and so forth. Carts will be on path for a couple weeks, is that correct?
That's correct. A lot of our thinner areas tend to be where our carts enter and exit. There's no mystery to why that is because of the compaction and all the traffic that we get in those areas throughout the golf season. So those tend to be slower areas to recover. And so we are going to have carts on pass here for a few weeks to kind of let those areas continue to grow without the cart traffic beating on it. And we will be having softer, wetter conditions like we did last year for a few weeks as we're growing the seed. We still got a bunch of seed around and sod in places that we're still continuing to grow. So it'll be wet. My hope is it'll be less than last year at this time, but we will still have it.
And we have some good news though. I know we're cart path only, like you said, on Apache and Chiricahua starting October the 3rd. But for our members that need medicals, we have Outlaw available. So Outlaw only had its tees overseeded this week. That's our dormant course this winter. So we will have carts scattering up there starting on October 3rd. So let's head up to Chiricahua. Okay, Todd, we've made our way to Chiricahua. Looks really good, really good. I know you have areas that you want to talk about and concerns, but this fairway at 17 looks pretty good.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Paul and his team have done a masterful job this year compared to where we were last year. At this time of year, I feel really good. We still do have our spots, though, around in the rough and a few spots. And also, you know, thinner areas that just got disease over the summer that we had or melting out is what they call it, with the high humidity. The ryegrass, the number one detriment to ryegrass is high temperature, high humidities. And, you know, we were looking really, really good. And then the end of July, August got here and the humidities have just hung around, which has made things difficult for us to get germination and for some of this ryegrass. So we've had to really be on our toes, but the teams have done a really good job. We just have a few isolated spots. 12, 15, 17 are the holes that you'll see probably most of it. However, our approaches that we converted from bent grass to ryegrass have really come in, as you'll see over here over our shoulder. and they've really started to come in. We did some spot sodding in some of the areas that we were having trouble with, but overall we're really happy with that and think that's going to be a great improvement for the members. Just like we've talked about at Renegade before, and these, that ryegrass isn't going to fully be mature till March or April, so it's going to be young. It's going to play a little different. It's going to play a little young here for this fall, but going forward it'll be a great playing surface for our members and one that we'll be happy with.
Got two questions though. One, you said sod's been extremely difficult to get, so let's let members know that while they're playing this week, we're going to still be doing a little bit of sodding.
Yeah, so sod just now is kind of becoming available with the weather and things that we've had, so we are a little later getting the sod this year than in years past. So we will be doing some spot sodding. We've done a bunch already. We're in the spots that we needed, so that most of it will be done, but we will have isolated spots that we'll still be working on.
Awesome. Two, I want to make sure people understand, the rough at Chiricahua still has some clumpiness to it. It will fill in, right? So let's kind of explain that.
Yeah, so over time or through the summer, the nature of ryegrass is with the melting out that you get in it with the high humidity heat, you tend to lose some grass no matter what you do. We can spray all we did, which is what we were very aggressive, but we still had areas where we still got some disease and some melting out occurred. So there is some clumpiness left in the rough and isolated spots. I think it's a lot less than it was last year.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're going to continue to build on that year over year as we incorporate and do the things we're doing in the agronomic programs that we're doing. But there will still be, right now, early on in the year, some clumpiness to some of this rough. And then it should even out over time, just like it did last year, once we got towards the end of the season.
Greens look terrific, both at Apache and Chiricahua. Any issues?
No, our greens are ready to go. I think members will be very excited. The tee boxes are fantastic, especially here at Chiricahua. Last year we had huge troubles with the tees and had to do a lot of recovery work. Yeah. This year we have had to do hardly anything on them. Paul and his team, again, have done a fabulous job on them. I think they'll be really good. The fairways are phenomenal. Coincidentally, our struggles at Chiricahua are more in the rough, and our struggles at Apache are more on the fairways. And so we're just trying to get the full package together here. And I think with our agronomic plan that we're doing in our programs, we'll eventually get there, but we're still correcting things and getting things to where they need to be, and excited about where we're going. And I think, in a matter of a couple weeks, this place will be way further along than it is right now.
Great. So just to recap, we'll finish up this video. We've got Chiricahua, Apache, Outlaw Open this week. We've got Cochise and Geronimo that are down for overseed. Geronimo comes back online October 31st. Cochise comes back online November 7th. Number 7 course opens October 11th. And I know what you're thinking, members. When's Renegade going to open?
We are still on track. We still got a lot more seed to get in the ground for me to really have a concrete date. The good thing is the seed that we do have down is coming in nicely and great. The weather now that we're starting to have, the less humid mornings, and we're really seeing some good results. We're still on plan to be towards the middle of November.
Well, members, thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your care and consideration. And we've had a lot of wonderful, really, comments on the golf courses this summer. So kudos to you and your crew.
Thank you.
Please pass that on as well. Thank you, Todd. We look forward to seeing all of our members out there on the golf courses, and we'll talk soon.